We always know and have always known for every generation that there's going to be a challenge. There's going to be a threat, some type of major conflict. Is it going to be a major natural disaster, a storm, a tornado? Is it going to be some level of civil unrest? Is it going to be a pandemic? Looking at the notion of emergency preparation, I remember when we were much younger doing fire drills. We were also doing drills for potential bombs and the threat of bombs. And we had the fallout shelters, right? So fortunately, we never experienced bombs falling in Chicago, but we prepared for that possibility. So I think in every generation, we have to be prepared for that threat. And we have to practice the inevitability of that threat manifesting at some point. First of all, I got to step back for a moment and quote Stevie Wonder when he released his album about inner visions. 2020 was an opportunity for us to develop, basically have another level of insight. I've often said that supervisorship really possess supervision. The ability to see with the third eye, the ability to see with that eye that sees better than two. That's insight, that's awareness, that's cognition, that's understanding one's place in time. So that was what we were envisioning for 2020 with that inner vision, with that super sight, if you will. We know, and here's the piece that's really, really powerful, that for 400 years, the trauma, the health inequity, disparities that we've experienced has led to the desperate conditions that have resulted in people having disabilities, mental illness, substance use disorder, opioid addictions, high rates of suicide, mortality, and violence in the community. That's what we've gotten as a result of 400 plus years of generational trauma. This is the result. So we know that these populations are not going to disappear in the decades or years to come. So now the question and the plan becomes, what is the best way to create opportunities for this group of folks who have been so impacted by the various social determinants of health? What is the affordable housing strategy, for special populations, people with disabilities, our elders and others? What is the strategy around employment and what I consider to be supported employment for persons who have special needs? All demonstrating that you could, in fact, empower people with special needs to be able to live affordably, to be able to be employed, to produce in ways that are beneficial for the society as a whole. When I think about 2021, my first wish is for health, that we have a plan for a healthy community, that we have mitigated effectively the pandemic, that we have embraced effectively strategies to eradicate health disparities, that we have embraced all the major components of social determinants of health so that we are in fact in a position to create more health and wealth for our communities. The second wish is around the notion of happiness. I desire for our community to have a happy spirit, a joyful spirit, to be satisfied with their lives and to understand that life truly can be beautiful. So health, happiness, and of course, hope. We've got to have hope for a better day, hope for a brighter future, and the hope for our future generation, that they will have greater opportunities, more opportunities than generations past. It says something about strategy, and it says something about the need for our agencies, our institutions, our churches to always be prepared, for that transition of leadership. What happens with, the folks who have led the struggle if there's an assassination, if there's an untimely death, how do these vital organizations continue? So I just think that the lesson that I've learned is that we've got to prepare for that. And we had a test, a couple of years ago, I had an auto accident and was out of commission for over 5 months. and the agency continued to move, under leadership of our Chief Operational Officer, Dr. Karen Dixon. So these are the kinds of things that you learn along the way, how to sustain the organization, how to continue to have community impact, how to ensure that what you do and how you do it is essential to life and living it. These are just a few of the things that we've gotten over the years. Continuation of a movement, the next level, if you will, of a movement. Had not Gandhi did what he did in India, I'm not sure if King would have been able to do what he did in America. Had not King did what he did in America, had not Malcolm X did what he did, had not Marcus Garvey did what he did, I'm not certain if the murder of George Floyd would have had the level of intensity in terms of that resounding impact across the world. Everybody said enough is enough, and everybody was able to see that this was a continuation of 400 years of trauma and that this needs to stop. We know in this time, under our watch, that we must have policies instituted that will not allow the next generation to experience what we've experienced for these 400 years. We know that resources have to be put in place that will open up the door for future possibilities. We cannot and will not tolerate business as usual in this country. It just is not going to occur.